My wife cheated on me with her trainer and then tried to take my son by calling me unstable. So I recorded everything.
The moment I dragged Tina into that dim corridor, I knew I had already lost her. But seeing her melt against Robert Wilson in front of an entire room of investors and my own colleagues, that carved something into me that would never fully heal. She snatched her wrist from my grip like I was an inconvenience, not a husband. "Don't make a scene," she whispered sharply. "This is an important night." Important for who? For their affair? Her eyes hardened. Everything about the past year suddenly snapped into place. The late nights, the new dresses, the sudden shift in priorities. She wasn't drifting away from our marriage. She was running toward someone else. Someone richer, more powerful. Robert walked into the hallway, then tall, perfect, and irritatingly self-assured. A real estate mogul who made sure everyone knew what he owned, including, it seemed, my wife. He slid his arm around her waist. She didn't flinch, she leaned in. That's the moment I stopped being her husband. 6 months later, I barely recognized my life. Tina had moved out. The house we bought together felt like a museum of dead promises. The divorce was slow and suffocating. She wanted to move on with her life, the one she'd planned with Robert. But the city had other plans for me. My boss gave me the one project that changed everything, the review of Wilson Realty's massive Harbor Heights proposal, the same project Tina and Robert were building their empire on. Late into the night, I studied the documents. Architecturally beautiful, politically irresistible, and socially disastrous. It would wall off entire neighborhoods from the waterfront, destroy history, and turn the district into a private playground for the wealthy. As I read, something strange happened. I stopped thinking about my marriage, stopped thinking about revenge. I began to build an alternative plan. A vision for the city rooted in fairness and community, a plan that didn't serve ego, but people. I called it Harbor Commons. What started as sketches became a blueprint. What started as wounded pride grew into purpose. My team rallied behind it. The community embraced it. Robert noticed. His calls shifted from polite to threatening. "You're trying to get back at me," he said, his voice full of smug fury. "No," I told him calmly. "I'm building something better." The public review meeting was the showdown. Robert presented first dazzling renderings and scripted applause. Tina stood beside him, looking powerful, polished, untouchable. Then I presented Harbor Commons. I spoke with truth about neighborhoods, small businesses, and the kind of city we wanted to leave behind. When the public comments opened, residents flooded the room with support. The energy was shifting, then came the vote. It came down to a tie with one deciding vote left. Commissioner Wells chose Harbor Commons. Robert's empire cracked right there in front of a full room. Seeing the shock on Tina's face, I felt nothing. No satisfaction, just closure. The divorce finalized quietly. I no longer needed anything from her, not money, not apologies. But fate wasn't finished. At the final city council hearing, after brutal weeks of appeals and pressure from Robert's lobbyists, a surprise voice stepped forward. It was Tina. She spoke clearly, steadily. She admitted Harbor Heights was wrong, that Harbor Commons was the right future for the city. She had already resigned from Wilson Realty. The council voted overwhelmingly in our favor. Robert stormed out. The room erupted, and I stood there, realizing that revenge had transformed into something far greater. Months later, as construction began, I felt peace for the first time in years. Tina sent me a letter, not apologizing, just acknowledging what she'd learned. I had built something more important than an empire. I helped shape the city's future. I rebuilt my own life. And standing at the edge of Harbor Commons, watching children play where there was once only abandoned concrete, I realized the sweetest revenge isn't destroying someone else's world. It's building your own stronger, brighter, and completely untouchable. Thanks for watching.